two things here, social networking and storytelling. Okay? We're going to start off with social networking. I was, for any of you who've ever come to camp, heard me speak at camp, I'm adamantly opposed to social networking for kids. I tell kids I want to be a part of social networking, I want to be a part of social networking. Facebook and MySpace are still the two highest places for sexual predators that there is anywhere in the world. Those two things. I don't think kids ought to be on there. Okay? If they are on there, I think parents ought to supervise it big time. In the 1950s, 60s, preachers preached against TV for how bad it was, how awful it was. They were just as right then as about social networking now. However, it didn't stop TV from becoming what it is today, and I'm not going to stop social networking from becoming what it is, and it already is, and is going to become. Okay? So, with that said, last fall I started teaching at Baptist Bible College, and in one of my classes, when I was there, I asked the students, I said, I want you to write a paper. I want a full-page paper tonight on how we can use social networking within the church. Twitter, Facebook. Now, I don't think anybody in their right mind will be on MySpace. There's just so many limitations. There's no parameters there. It's a mess. I don't think you ought to be there. Using those two, Facebook, MySpace, texting, those type of things, give me some ideas. But when they came back, and I read their papers the next day, I was just like, wow. You've intrigued me. Because they had all kinds of ideas. Well, then in December, I had to speak in a church in Louisville, Kentucky, about 3,000 people in the church, and I was doing just the children's ministry that night, Saturday night, Sunday morning, 2 services on Sunday morning, a total of 3 services with the kids. So I'm standing there Saturday night, I'm all set up and ready to go. A young man is the children's pastor of the church, his name's Chris Booth. I've known Chris for many years. We're just standing there chit-chatting before the service begins. They had all kinds of gaming stations around the room. And kids started showing up an hour before church started. And they're coming in, they're playing these gaming stations. I mean, he had everything from little 19-inch TVs with a Nintendo system hooked up to that, just an older Nintendo system, all the way around. And they had 2 big 6-foot screens set up on a wall. And they had a Nintendo Wii hooked to one and a PlayStation 3 hooked up to the other. And they're playing all kinds of games with these things. And as we were sitting there talking, this guy just walks up to me, and I'm watching the kids come in and go. They had a lady that they'd go talk to, and then they'd go work with them on different things. That's Bob calling. He's got your number. When he calls, you better answer. Anyhow, these kids would come walking up to Chris, and they'd go, it's a chicken. And they'd walk away. And I'm looking at Chris, and he's just acting like nothing's happening. Another kid would walk up to Chris and go, it was a chicken. And Chris would hand him something, and they'd walk away, and I'm just like, what are they talking about? It's a chicken, and he gives him a piece of paper. So finally, about the 5th kid who walked up and said, it was a chicken. Just hand it to him. Keep right on talking, never miss him. And they'd walk away, and I said, dude, what's a chicken, and why do you keep giving them paper for it? And he said, I'll explain later. And I said, oh, you betcha you're going to explain later. I want to know what this is. So after the service, we went out to eat. And when we sat down, I said, okay, what's a chicken? And he said, I use Facebook to teach my Sunday school lessons or my junior church lessons all week long. Excuse me? He said, I use Facebook to teach my lessons. We have a fan page for our children's page. And he said, starting Monday morning, I start putting things on the fan page that go along with what it was we taught on Sunday. He said, so I'm posting Bible verses. I'm posting things they have to read and respond back to me about. And he said, the kids come to me. He said, sometime during the week, I may put up a video. I may put up a riddle. I may put up a question that they have to answer. Or I may put a video up for like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then Thursday, he said, this is what I did this week. Thursday night, I deleted the video, so they couldn't get it anymore. Then Friday, I started asking, what was it that ran behind me in the video? So now we have a green screen here in our church. So I went in front of a green screen, and I filmed what it was I was wanting to do. And he said, then one of our tech guys put farm animals behind me. He said, it's a video they had. And he said, in one of the videos, this chicken runs behind me. He said, so all I asked was, in the video this week about whatever it was their lesson was on, what ran behind Brother Chris? He said, now they come in and answer the questions Saturday night and Sunday. He said, so like this week, the answer is it was a chicken. That's the only animal that ran behind me throughout the thing. He said, so when they give me the answer, I know they've been a part of what's been going on throughout the week. They didn't just log in Friday and find that out, because I took it down Thursday. It was only up Tuesday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is all that was there. They had to watch it. Before I take it down, he says, this is the only, it was Christmas time. He said, I'm giving them a freebie this time. It's not a biblical question or anything of that nature, just what ran behind it. And he said, so they give me that. He said, I give them a piece of paper. He said, the piece of paper says I got the answer correct. He said, they go over there to that lady at the table over there. She's the one who keeps track of these gaming stations. He said, they get points for having answered that question. He said, they got to cash in their points to play these games. They save up their points. They can play the big 6-foot screen. That takes a lot of points. If you just want to play, take a few points and play on the 19-inch screens. You don't get to play a bigger thing, but you still get some playing time. So it's whatever you want to do. I said, well, what about the kids that don't have internet access? He said, you'd be amazed. Most of them have access to it somewhere, some way, somehow. But those that don't have other things I do with them. And they get their points, and because they don't have internet, it's not a big deal to them. They just get their points however they can get them in glory. That's so stinking cool. And I'm just like, wow. And he's telling me about how he's had kids that have told him things that are happening in their lives. He said, I had a kid log in on Facebook one day, and he said, Brother Chris, pray for me. He said, there's a kid at school who keeps offering me drugs. I think he said it was a 4th grader. He said, this kid keeps offering me drugs, and I keep telling him no. Just pray for me. He said, now guess whose house I was at the next day? Guess who I took out? He said, I wouldn't have known about that till Sunday before. He said, I found out about it on like a Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm at the kid's house. We go out. He said, I just thanked him for letting me know. Told him I had been praying. I would keep praying. If there's anything I can do to help him, he said, it has been a godsend for us. It's instant communication with my kids. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, I came home from Louisville, Kentucky. Santa came for Christmas holidays. I said, son, show me how to get on Facebook. I got on Facebook. In like 3 weeks' time, I have like 400 plus friends. Who are these people? There have been a few of them I've blocked. Because I have no idea who they are, and I click on them, and we don't have any mutual friends. And so, but if I find that they have some mutual friends, because there's so many people who know me that I have no idea who they are. But I have found out just in my business, have any luck with whatsoever. Or just open that up and double click Kid College PowerPoint and social networking. Okay? So it has helped me. I've been able to contact pastors through what I'm doing. Instead of having to send letters or make phone calls, I've had pastors contact me. I've been able to talk to some kids online who go through some problems in their life and things of that nature. I think it's an excellent way. I use Twitter as well. This past summer in our ministry, Twitter became a thing that, not everybody enjoys getting an email from me every day. I know some of the folks I send out emails and I get back from, you take me off your email list. Don't send me that. Come on. My first thought was, why didn't you sign up for it in the first place? I take them off because I know what it's like to get 49 million things in email every day. I get that every day. And so if you don't want something, I gladly delete, not a problem whatsoever, and we can get rid of it. So last summer we started a Twitter account. I've got probably 150, 160 people that follow me on Twitter. And one of the things that we've done with Twitter is listen to people that want to know, here's how many folks were saved today. One of the things I will do tonight, now, since going to Facebook, I carry an iPhone. And I know that any of the smartphones, there's all kinds of apps you can go with. I carry a thing called, my son put it on here for me, called Q-Status. With Q-Status, I can send a post to Twitter as well as Facebook at the same time. Those of you who have not met Ned, toss Ned up here a minute. Miss Regina. No, it's just cute. Okay. I don't know if you heard about Ned or not. A couple months ago, I was typing some stuff up one night on my iPhone here. It was on Q status. I was in a hurry and I just said, long day, blah, 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 time for bed. But in trying to do that, the one finger stuff, because I have not gotten this stuff down yet, just trying to do the one finger stuff real quick, and I was tired. I said time for Ned. So immediately Miss Regina fires back to me, but so she has no life. At midnight, she's firing back to me. Miss Regina fires back to me and says, "What do the rest of us do when it's time for Ned?" What? And my phone goes, and I think I got because these LOLs and Greg MC last night was going, "So, fat finger texting once again, are we?" I'm like, "Oh." So I go back and look, and I said time for Ned instead of time for bed. I thought, smart Alex. So I fired back. "How dare you insult my friend Ned?" That's my teddy bear, and he and I have to have some together. So I went out the next week and I bought me a teddy bear. Now everywhere I travel, I've been taking, we'll get a picture in the last service today with Ned in front of all the college. I've been taking pictures of Ned everywhere I go. And I send out, Ned enjoys Detroit. Ned was in St. Louis. Ned likes Springfield. Ned had a picture taken with college students the other day. And I just keep sending them out across Twitter and Facebook every time I do it. And I get folks back to people like Regina going, "I'm worried about you." But Ned doesn't mind. He's having a good time. He's enjoying it all, okay? That's Ned, okay? I'm going to put up a fan page for Ned on Facebook. And next year at this time, I have every intention of having a book out called The Adventures of Ned. For kids. And Ned's going to tell about the places he goes, the people that he sees saved, the things that happened in his life throughout the past year. And kids can read about and how they can share their faith, just like Ned has seen all this happen throughout the past year. So I'm thinking ahead, Ned. It was a mistake with my fat-fingered thumb, but it's going to be a plus a year from now, okay? And I'm going to use social networking over the course of the next year to drive home my point that I want to tell people about Jesus Christ, and then also people know about Jesus Christ as well, okay? I don't know how much I've already covered, so let's find out. Social networking, I don't like it, but it's here. I can fuss about it, or I can help oversee it. So, keep in touch with your class. You can make announcements. You can contact families. You can have prayer requests. You can celebrate birthdays with social networking, man. It tells you whose birthday is coming up. I've got people that I don't know I'm wishing happy birthday to. Tomorrow is Amy's birthday. Happy birthday, Amy. She's one of my friends, so I'm telling her happy birthday. I said happy birthday to somebody the other day. They said, "Oh, Rosie, you don't know what it means for you to remember my birthday." I'm like, "You don't know what it means either. There's a reminder on the right-hand side. Look, you missed mine." It's a chance for you to keep in touch with. I keep picking that up. It's not going to work. You can have the week-long classes we were talking about. You can create a class excitement. You can have a fan page of your class. You can create a fan page of your class where just your kids come to. You can use it for incentives. You can use it for outreach. Okay? You can use it to get the kids, when they won't come to church, get your kids to get their friends to log on, become a friend of your fan page, your page, and they can see the things that you're doing. I read a little book recently. There's not a lot out there about social networking right now. But I found this little book. I'm probably going to get this name wrong. Paul Chappell? Does that sound right? Huh? Chappelle, that might be it. C-H-A-P-P-E-L. However you pronounce it. Yeah. And so anyway, he wrote a little bit of book about social networking in the church today. And the basic premise behind it was there's two things he's going to do. He's going to use it to witness. If he's going to type anything on there, he's going to use it to witness. He's going to use it to talk to people and tell them about Christ. Okay? And he's going to use it to reach his people. Okay? The pros and the cons of it all is you've got to do that. Last year, in the United States of America, in 20% of all divorce cases in the United States of America, Facebook was named as one of the reasons why. 20% of all divorces in the United States of America last year, Facebook was named as one of the reasons why. Get online, meet old friends. Now that's nothing new. We had a kid in our church years ago. His dad was a pharmacist. His mom was going back to school to be a physical therapist. This is a family who had it all together. The dude goes back home to visit his mom. The dad does. Just said, mom was a little sick. He goes back home to visit mom. Drives down to where an old high school sweetheart used to work at. Takes her out for a dinner. Next thing you know, he's divorcing his wife and moving back to West Virginia so he can be at this high school sweetheart again. What an idiot. Why is it we got to live stuck in the past? Oh, if I can just go back to that, everything's going to be great. You know, there used to be a song out. I'm just throwing this out here real quick for a minute. This one didn't have anything to do with this. I'm just going to throw it out, wait it for a minute, and then jump out and go back to shore. There used to be a song that says, it's sad to belong to someone else when the right one comes along. I got news for you, Skippy. When you said I do, the right one was there. And there ain't no more ones coming along. I'm not a hunter. But I learned a long time ago, when it comes to the hunting thing, if you're a duck, you don't listen real carefully to your duck's call, you'll answer the wrong call, blow you out of the water. For 32 years, I make sure the quack I'm hearing comes from the quack I'm hearing. And she's been doing the same thing. Works good that way. Otherwise, you get yourself in a mess. And then I learned on the farm, the grass isn't green on the other side of the fence. It just hasn't been mowed. When you get over there, there's just as much stupid work there as there was, and the grass back over here will start looking better then. Listen to the right price, okay? It's a great thing. You can use it for a lot of stuff. It can tear you up. Be careful what you say. Be careful who you say it to. I know a fella, he's a friend of mine. He made a comment in jest on Facebook. In jest. There's something you have to remember about email, Facebook, Twitter. No one can see your facial expressions, and no one can hear the intonation of your voice. There is no in jest. You say it, you say it. And you can tear somebody up when you say it. Okay? You can ruin your ministry when you say it. It could have been a joke. It could have been in jest. My brother used to have a statement when I was a kid growing up. When in doubt, don't. And he drove that into my head. By the time I was a little kid, he was my youth director. He was my hero. He still is. My brother is one of my board members. And my brother said, what am I supposed to do on this? And I said, since the time I was a little bitty kid until now, you've been one thing for me. My hero, my prayer warrior. That's your job in this world. Continue to be my hero and be my prayer warrior. That's all I want you to do. If I can think of anybody else I want on my board, it's you. Because I know you're going to pray for me and pray that God will lead and guide and direct my life. And that's what I want. Okay? So when in doubt, don't, man. Keep your testimony at all costs. It took so long to get, so quickly lost. That gentleman made the comment, cost him his Sunday school class, cost him his ministry in his church for quite some time. Be careful. Be very, very careful. That technology's out there. That technology can mess you up if you're not careful. So please, be careful with your faith. It's an awesome technology that you can use. You can get in touch with people just like that. You can fire it back and forth. I get a little frustrated with it sometimes, just like the texting stuff. I don't understand that. Why would you want to, when you can call and talk to them, you can Today, do you know, I just read this a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now. They have created a program. This is a gospel truth. I am not kidding you at all. You can punch in a text. It goes to this site. It converts it to voice. It rings the phone with the other person, they answer, and it reads them your text. They can now answer back, it goes back to the site, it converts it back to voice, it rings their phone, and it reads it to them. Isn't that a phone call with a middleman? Isn't that what we used to have when there was an operator? Betsy, get me the grocery store. Okay. I thought we got away from that. Everything's old is new again, I guess, okay? But be careful with it. Now, let me get over here to this other one very quickly. Do I need to? Storytelling. Just 2 USB cables. Grab myself that. Put this in. Storytelling. You can do it. I love to tell stories. I enjoy telling stories. When I sit down and think about some things I wanted to do in our ministry, and I said I want to write a book, my wife said, okay. And this was her first. She said, do what you do best. So you got to do magic tricks in the book? She goes, that's not what you do best. She said, no, tell stories. She said, you can tell a story. This is my wife. Better than anybody I've heard. Tell stories. People want to hear stories. They'll read stories. Okay. There are many ways to tell stories. You should try to use all of them. Okay? You can tell a story with your words. I've seen folks tell a story and never say a word. Act it out. Everybody loves to watch a line. Although I've never figured out how they got trapped in that box. But they're always trying to get out. You can tell a story without using any words at all. You can tell a story by using the kids in the classroom to tell a story. You can tell a story by using a magic trick. You can tell a story by using a puppet. My wife made a puppet one time. She took one of my old jackets and she made this thing look like a bird, big ostrich looking type thing she was carrying. And she fixed it up so it looked like there was an arm going around it. And she had her hand over here and she was wearing gloves. So she put it in case it was going to bite her. So there's this big glove over here. And she could actually run her hand through it, come up and stick her hand up in here and make that thing move all around. That's the ugliest looking thing you ever saw in your life. And the kids thought that was the coolest thing they'd ever seen in their life. That thing was just jumping around all over the place. It was trying to bite people. And they were back screaming. And she's not a ventriloquist, didn't try to be a ventriloquist. She just took that thing in, just talk with it, and carry on. And the kids absolutely love that goofy looking, silly, ugly looking puppet. You can tell a story with a puppet. Some of you can't. Some of y'all don't get to use puppets. Because your hand, mouth, eye coordination never came into fruition. I used to say anybody could do a puppet. I used to get people in our puppet ministry, and first of all, they stick the puppet up the window and go like this. Mouth pointing to the ceiling. About every third word, you see the puppet's mouth move. That was the most spastic looking puppet you ever saw. And then they get through, they lay the puppet's head down while they look to see what else it was they're supposed to do. So the puppet's choking to death. And I was like, you need to take up the offering. This is not your gift. Okay? You can use all kinds of things to tell a story. Reading is not a way to tell a story. When I was at Baptist Bible College, they had this thing. It was a speech thing. This was 30 years ago. It's called the Vic Speech Tournament, I think, in honor of G.B. Vic, who's one of the founding fathers of the fellowship of Baptist Bible College, first president. So they had this thing called storytelling. So then I got into it. I did the story of David and Goliath. So the first round, I won. We get to advance on. There was a bunch of girls. Just a bunch of girls in the storytelling department. Very few guys got into it. Tell a story. So I did David and Goliath. I acted out. I slayed Goliath on stage. I was having a blast. I advanced to the next round. And the next round, they didn't let me finish. I'm doing my story. This guy goes, you're done. You can just sit down. No, I'm not. We're still playing more of this story, apparently. You've not read your Bible lately. He's like, no, you're finished. You can just sit down. I don't think so, Scooter. There's more of the story. He said, no, you're disqualified. Excuse me? He said, you're not reading. I said, that's not storytelling. That's story reading. Now, I didn't win. I was disqualified. But I ran it and raved enough that next year they had story reading and storytelling. Because the two are different. Reading is not storytelling. Storytelling is telling a story, acting it out, using other things, using props. Watching a video is not telling a story. Storytelling is a lost art today, in my opinion. We bring kids in, we sit them down, we stick a video in, we pacify them for 20 minutes with that. We bring them in, we let them watch something on the TV, or we let them listen to something, or we read something out of a book. But we don't just get them to tell stories anymore. I should say storytelling at the top of that quick page. Should involve student involvement. Get kids involved in helping you tell a story. There's a lot of ways you can get kids involved. I can get you up and get you to help me tell the story. Or I can use you just as you are. I want you guys over here on this side, okay? I want you all to, on the count of 3, I want you to scream. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Down here, I want you all to go. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Now, when I point at you, I want you to do your action. Okay? You guys, if I point at you, you scream. Ready? Today, I want to tell you a story about. Today, I want to tell you a story about David and Goliath. Now, the hero of our story is David. Hooray! The bad guy of our story is Goliath. And some people didn't know they saw Goliath. He was like 10 foot tall. He was huge. I didn't know what he was. Goliath is 10 foot tall. He's a big, he's got a spear that weighs almost 80 pounds. He's got a helmet that weighs 20 pounds. It takes a lot to carry all of that. He is a giant. And along comes our hero David. Hooray! With just a slingshot. Hooray! He's going to win the battle. Hooray! Out marches Goliath. You can have a blast with that. You've got everybody in the class involved. Do this with me. We're on a giant hunt today. We have to walk out through the field. We're trying to find a giant. However, here comes some tall grass. Walk on tall grass. We gotta get through this tall grass. We've got to find our giant. Glad we're through that. Stop. There's a creek. You gotta jump over it. Back up. Stop. I have to get a running start to get over this. You ready? Let's go. It's a big creek! Now you can do whatever you want to do. You can climb a hill, you can jump a creek. When you finally see the giant, you can scream, you can run back, you can jump the creek, you can run back through the tall grass. Back home. Didn't you enjoy hunting the giant today? They'll have a blast with it. Take you some masking tape. Make the fork of the boat on the floor. Get all the kids inside the boat and let's go for a trip out through the middle of the lake and see if we can find where Jesus walked on the water. You think his footprints will be there? They might be. Let's go see. Well, after all, if he could walk on water, which none of us can do, then why couldn't he leave footprints on water? Which none of us can do. And again, he left a footprint on us. He gave his life for us on the cross. You see, anything can become a story. So get some student involvement. Melodrama is kind of what we did that with screaming and hollering. Hooray! Teacher involvement. Teachers should be involved in that story, drawing the kids in, getting them to work with you. Use props. Anything can be a prop, man. I love to watch people come into the classroom, carrying stuff to teach their lesson with. If you show up with just your Bible, nothing wrong with just your Bible, but in the visual age that you live in today, you'll get more attention if you've got other things to go along with your Bible and back up what you're saying. It ought to be laden with Scripture. You ought to have a Bible story that's there. You ought to have a message that's there. Dude, when I walk into a pulpit, I walk in with props. Because I've also learned that we live in an MTV generation. Every 3 to 4 minutes, you guys are going, oh, look, there goes the chicken. Is he talking? Oh, no, that was another chicken. And I got to bring you back in. Zig Ziglar, who's been a motivational speaker for almost 5 decades, says every 7 minutes, I got to tell a joke. Because if I don't, you guys will go, I didn't know there was a ceiling up there. Wow, when they start putting those in buildings. So you've got to do something to draw people back in. The props and things like that. Student ad-libbing. Just get students up. Here's something really, you want to have a blast in a class. Get you a clothes basket just filled with a bunch of junk. Take it to class and say, today we're going to talk about Saul of Damascus. Let's read it here. We're going to Acts and read the story. When you get through reading the story, say, I'll tell you what I want you to do. I'm going to give you all 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I want you to find stuff here, and I want you to be so-and-so, I want you to be so-and-so, I want you to be so-and-so. And find the prop that you want to use out of this basket. And we're going to act out this story. And then go back and act out the story, and then use the props and the things. It doesn't have, you don't have to have a sword for someone to have a sword. You don't have to have a bright light for someone to have a light. You can put a flashlight. You can put a newspaper, rolled up piece of newspaper in there, and kids will say it's a sword. Whatever. And let them use those props then to act out that story. They'll not forget it. We forget 90% of everything we hear within 7 days. 50% of it within 2 minutes. That's just the gospel truth. We'll remember 91% of everything we do for the rest of our lives. If we get people involved in doing, not just hearing. That's the new thing under the sun. Isn't that what Jesus said? And actually, he said it through the inspiration of the Holy Spirit to his half-brother, James. James and Jesus was not just hearers only. Be a doer. Get the kids involved in doing. Get yourself involved in doing. You will never, ever, ever, ever forget. Question and answer is a storytelling time. Start telling a story, but as you're telling the story, stop and just ask a question every once in a while. Goliath, Goliath was a great big guy. He was a, what was that? What was Goliath? He was a, what was he? He was a giant. That's right. He was a great big, and David was just a, what was David? He wasn't a king yet. A shepherd, that's right. He was just a shepherd. He was just a little, what do you call this thing?
Boy.
Boy, that's right. He was just a little boy. Okay? And he was out actually watching his father's, you knew that? Wow. I thought maybe he was watching puppy dogs. Sheep, that's cool. Okay. And you can get them talking with you and drawing out bits and pieces of the story. Just do sort of a question and answer thing. And they're like waiting, ask me, ask me, ask me. And who cares if they've got the right answer? You're going to give them the right answer. But you've got them involved in the story as you're telling the story. That's what you want. They're involved with you. Some things, you've got to know the story. You must know the story. Don't get up and try to fake it. Okay? Know it. Inside and out. You've got to know your story. Number two, you've got to know the point of the story. What are you trying to get across? Okay? Just to tell a story for the sake of telling a story doesn't accomplish anything. What are you trying to get across? Number three, know your audience. I am not going to get up and tell you all about anti-nuclear submarines if I'm talking to 3-year-olds. What is he talking about? Is there such a thing as an anti-nuclear submarine? What is that? I have never heard the idea. It's just words I just put together. See, I haven't heard much of it. You've got to know what you're talking about, and you've got to have a point to it. Know your audience. Know the age group that you're dealing with. I saw a guy one time at a camp years ago. He got up and he was talking. It was actually here in Chicago many years ago in the auditorium. And he got up and he mentioned a actor. Teenagers ought to have known. The problem was, teenagers would have known that actor about 10 years before that. And they're all looking at him going, huh? He just kept trying to drive home the point. Don't you know this? Everybody should know this guy. I was like, dude, leave it alone. You done missed it now. They all know you missed it now. Stop. He just kept driving home until finally he beat that dead cow until it stunk. And no one wanted to have anything to do with it. And the rest of the week they were going, doesn't he know what we're talking about? Who we are? Because they had no idea who that guy was. Know your audience. Know your time. 30 years ago when I first got into ministry, the very first pastor I went to work for, I wasn't even working for him. I asked him, he said, I want you to do such and such in the service. And I said, how much time do I have? He said, I'll give you 15 minutes. It's okay. He said, I'd be happy to do it in 12. I hire you to do it in 10. So I did it in 9. And he hired me. And later on he said, I was impressed with the fact that everything I asked him to do, he did it in less time than I said to do it. And I have tried my best. I'm not always successful. I have tried my absolute dead level best. If someone gives me a time frame to do something, do it in less than an hour. Another pastor I worked for made this comment. He said, anytime you waste a minute, multiply it by the number of people. That's how many minutes you just wasted. So if there were 60 people in the room and you wasted a minute of time, you just wasted an entire hour. Because collectively, that's what those people have done. Hours of work in 1 minute in your room. Don't waste people's time. It's precious. Gotcha. You had the year to year, let him hear it. I understand. Know your time. Get done what you got to get done every time. You can't get done in another time and find out what's good. Because that's the time you will get it. Use the time you've got. Know your time. Know your conclusion. Know the point you've got to get across, and know the conclusion you're going to make to bring that point out in the end. Just the desired results that you want. Know that God can only bless if you let Him. You get up and do it on your own. I'll be real honest with you, 30 years of ministry. I have stood behind the pulpit, I've stood in front of people, and I've stood next to whatever. And I might know it more times than I care to elaborate on, remember, or even talk about. You know what's happened when I did it on my own? There have been a few times when I've got up and done it, and I'd worked the idea of what I was even doing. It just wouldn't come together. God said, son, just sit back and watch it. Because I'm in control. I will never forget back in February 1980-something, who was the guy signed with the Boston Celtics? Some of you older folks were my age, you'll remember. Lenny, something signed with the Boston Celtics, unbiased, went out and celebrated. Supposedly he'd never done drugs in his life, went out and celebrated because he'd been signed and died. Sports Illustrated in February of that year, here's his picture. I had a message all planned out. I went to a Valentine banquet in the youth department, and I got to speak, and I had that picture with me that night, and I couldn't make that message come together. I tried my heart. It seemed like everything I tried to say, something else came out of my mouth. And I could not do it. I tried. The harder I tried, the worse it got. And finally, I really looked at the picture and saying, you need to put God first in your life. It's the little mistakes that make big problems like this. And I read a verse, and I had a prayer, and I walked over and I sat down. And my wife said, I think that's the lousiest I've ever heard you speak in my entire life. What in the world happened? Music's playing, the invitation just started. I started and just walked over and sat down. And I'm just sitting there with my head hung down thinking, I'm so sorry, God, I don't even know what happened. And I looked up. There were probably 70 kids in that banquet that night. I think all 70 of them went to the altar. About 15 kids got saved that night. It was just as if God said, don't you forget, I don't need you. I don't need your stories. I don't need your little pictures in the books. I'm in control. Don't forget it. And I said, I got you, God. I'll never forget it. You're in control. And He is. If we'll let Him have control, you'd be amazed what He'll do. I just bought a book recently, started reading it. I'm not through with it yet. It's an older book. I found it on sale. That's why I bought it. It's by John Maxwell, and it simply says this: talent's not enough. Talent is not enough. I don't care how talented you are. When it comes to ministry, talent doesn't matter. It's what God can do through you, not what you can do for God. Or as one pastor put it to me many years ago, be leery of talented people. Way too many times they'll try to do it on their own. And it isn't going to happen unless God does it. We need to be open vessels. Lord, speak through me. Know your story, know your point, know your audience, know your time, know your conclusion. Know that God's the one that can do the blessing. You just need to leave it totally up to Him. That's storytelling. I encourage you, find ways to tell stories. I love Dave Hill. As goofy as he is, I'm not sure the old boy is tacked down tight anymore at all. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of doctors just following him around and going, listen, we can find one more, we'll sign the papers, and put that boy away for the rest of his life. Well, I don't think you can hand that fellow a thing he can't tell a story. Nothing. He had this goofy fork out there. Now, y'all have seen this fork? And I'm like, so what story do you do with that? And he just took off when they got this. I said, okay, I got to buy one. It's a tough story. I got to have one of those. He sold me more stuff that I didn't want to use than anybody else I know. I look at him and go, that's the goofiest thing I ever saw, but I'm going to buy that. Dave tells me a story. I'm like, okay, can you know that too? That's what you just got to look at everything. How can I use that as a story? How can I use that as a way to tell gospel products? To the point where they want to know the Savior. They want to give their heart and life to Him. Leave you this thought. 33 years ago, when God called me into the ministry, 34 years ago, wow, God called me into the ministry. I came home from this camp. And there was an evangelist who offered me a chance to travel with him for the rest of the summer. His name was Joe Kollege. And I immediately packed everything I had, crawled in the back of the pickup truck. I said, I'll let you do that. We were all the way across Ohio to Huntington, West Virginia, and met up with Joe Boyd at a church over there and traveled with him for the next 7 weeks. About the 4th day I was with him, Joe Boyd made this comment, and I've never ever forgot that. He said, 2 things get people's attention quicker than anything else in the world. Make them laugh, make them cry. We'll never forget you for either one. You can impact their heart with you. One's like a merry medicine. The other's like a cutting knife. Use them wisely, my son. Know that they're tools you can use. The only way you can do it through stories. I can tell you a story and make you laugh, 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 and you go home and tell 14 other people that story. You won't forget. I can tell you a story and make you cry and you never for the rest of your life. You may never share it with anybody else again. But because it made you cry, you got their attention. You'll hang on to it. And it may cause you to change your life. The little girl this past year, I shared my wife's testimony that I shared last night. When we were through, we were walking out, and the little girl came to my wife and put her arm around her neck, and she said, I'm growing up in your home. I think God can give me a happy home too. My wife gave her $100. You just keep following her. Enjoy storytelling. Enjoy social networking. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you all very, very much. Thanks for coming and being with us. And we'll start back again here in about 5 minutes. You going to do this stuff? Okay.